There we go.
So
Bam.
that's a little bit better.
We are live. We have Norman Blasdale. I don't recognize that name, dude. Thanks for joining us. Right on time, too. Yeah, it's pretty cool. So thanks for getting that doc ready for us, Mia. But first, I don't know if you saw that one that about the Japanese innovation party.
No, I did not.
Okay, I Yang Daily added that to our group DM. So it's about the Japanese have a new party. It's a conservative party called the Innovation Party. I would like to talk about that one first, just to get the UBI stuff going.
Sure. Let me take a quick peek at that.
Air Lore, Elizabeth Norris. Yeah, actually, I was actually going to do a screen share on that one too, just because. Let's see if we get this up. My computer did an update, so I had to. Yeah, it's a real quick article. It's not that long. I'm just gonna read through it real quick, and we can talk about it. It's not really all that long. So, yeah, I have that ready to go. And then you have like 4 more on there in that Google Drive too, right?
I whittled it down to 3.
Okay. But yeah, so this let's see here. Let me look back at the doc. Let me refresh it. Because the other one you had is, of course, the infrastructure deal. We got to talk about that. That's the biggest news, I think, is this as far as like news goes. And then, whoops, let me update this. There we go. And man, okay. So I was looking at the one about the fossil fuels in Florida versus. Oh yeah, then we definitely got to talk about the Pride Civil Rights Act. Definitely want to talk about that since it's LGBTQ month. Oh wait, then you removed the other one, didn't you? The one about Florida doing the one about like teaching or had to register their political standing.
Yeah. I did. I congested it down. I was running low on time and got tired.
Yeah, I hear you.
Quite frankly, I'm running late because I accidentally napped.
No biggie.
One of those things.
Arif is always in here saying Liberia. I love it. I don't know why, but nonetheless, but yeah, I appreciate you guys joining us. Okay. So have I talked to you about the new intro outro we're doing now? So instead of going Yang's focused, I want to shift it into being more inclusive, I guess you say. Oh, Trev says, how did Yang lose again? Well, me personally is 2 factors. One, the race priorities changed for the voters. It went from recovery and the economy, which was the big priority. That's why he was ranking so high. And then he slowly chipped away. They took pretty much the mainstream media chipped away 1% a week. Took him from 30% down to 11%. And then if you get rid of the COVID, like if you get COVID under control, I was in New York, guys, no masks publicly. It was crazy on the subway, though, of course. And some of the businesses required it, some didn't. We still wore ours just because. But so it went from recovery, opening up from COVID and getting people back out and getting schools open, all that stuff. So that slowly happened without the mayoral campaign's wishes. Like it didn't take a new mayor to do it. So then it went, what happens when everybody gets back on the street? Crime. So crime became the highest priority for the people at the moment. And so, of course, the ex-cop benefits from that situation and all the slander and the misinformation about Andrew. I was still talking to people on the corner, guys, election day. They're still saying, but he's not he left New York. I was like, who is claiming that he left New York? Like, they said Eric Adams. Like, Eric Adams lives in fucking Jersey. You know, and we're still combating the misinformation up to election day. So
the only time he left New York was to go help the Democrats so that they could actually have the House in Georgia. That I really don't understand. There were a few things that I think I would have highlighted that I'd done a bit more if I had been running that campaign. There's a lot of stuff that he's done for New York that just was not getting the kind of press it needed.
Kind of like Hudson. a UBI pilot in Hudson, stuff like that. Yeah, but that was the first mistake or the first problem is up against him is that whole thing. The second problem is he tried to run as a progressive candidate, but he hired Bloomberg people who won a Republican nomination, not the other way around, So I think that was a mistake on his part. So it is what it is, right? RYB Fish 76. Serious question: how can we trust Yang again if he hires establishment consultants? I don't think it's a trust issue. It's just a bad call. I personally think he was like, you know what? I just got to do what I got to do to get in. Just get me in. Show me the way. And you had to default to people that have won races. I get that point of view, and then he can make more progressive changes. But it just didn't work out. Bad timing, and I think and those consultants did a little bit too much to exclude the Yang Gang and the actual volunteers on the ground, and like they didn't really use the help they had very effectively. But it wasn't a lack of people knocking on doors and stuff. I'll tell you that right now. He says Yang needed the PowerPoint press conferences with Elon and Dave Chappelle. Yeah. Well,
no comment on the Dave Chappelle stuff. There's stuff I read.
Yeah, it's all silliness. And it's all 2020 vision, right? We're all looking back and critique. I was critical of the Bloomberg consultants, the whatever that name of that consulting is, but it is what it is. So I don't think it mattered who he hired because of the way the demands shifted. I think he's up against it. And of course the negative attack ads, they spent 8 to 1 on him, negative attacks on compared to other candidates. So, it's the establishment, man. The machine was doing their job to keep out outsiders. They did it.
I really don't think that it helped the Asian discrimination going on right now at all.
Oh, yeah. That's a big thing too. Mm-hmm.
I was particularly hurt by that John Oliver piece.
Which one was that?
The one where he was doing the AAPI stuff and talking about everything. And he was talking about how Asians are often accused of feeling like tourists, even in their even in places where they've lived their whole entire lives and all that. Right. I'm like, oh, he's setting up to talk about that New Yorker cartoon, the one that showed him as a. And then he talks about back on the campaign when. When Andrew was discussing ways that, Asian Americans could try to blend in more, I suppose.
No, like demonstrate their patriotism.
Yeah. And that had that backlash. And I can understand, people coming from both ends, why they would feel the way they feel about it. It seemed like a really bad thing to be doing, to shove hate on a public figure who's Asian in an art or in a piece where you're talking about public hate towards Asians.
Yeah, doubling down on it, it doesn't make sense.
It was really, really messed up. And then not to show, why Yang might feel like he has to do a little bit of performative Americanism.
Right.
Even after that.
Mm-hmm.
Even after that, he's still getting people calling him a tourist in New York, where he's lived for 25 years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I was still facing that the day of the election. The whole week I was there, campaigning and canvassing and stuff. And it was wild. Fish says, I've been following this campaign for 3 years since you were on the couch. I felt like we're starting. Are you talking about me? Like when I was first in my YouTube, I was like on my cell phone on my couch. That's a long time ago. Yeah, that's damn near 3 years ago now, man. That's a wild thing, man. I appreciate you still being here, dude. I mean, I haven't seen your name in the comments for a while, but still, man, it does feel like zero again, but
it's not zero.
It's not zero because we
have made a lot more progress than maybe Yang has, unfortunately.
Well, and we all know this movement is bigger than one person. We'd like to see him lead it, but it's not always the case. He might have to be wind up being historically the sacrificial lamb that got this on the forefront, kind of like Bernie. Bernie didn't win for Medicare for all. He shifted the Overton window, but he's still not the fucking president, you know? And he's been chipping away at that for 40 damn years almost, you know? So
Yang made a lot of progress really fast if you think about what the result is of the landscape politically.
Mm-hmm.
UBI is being pilot tested, and gosh,
speaking
hundreds.
Let's go to our first one that we're going to be talking about. And tomorrow we'll be talking about it in our clubhouse thing. I'm going to be talking about this Japanese one tomorrow as well on Clubhouse. But yeah, I think that the timing was perfect. It's a perfect storm, which is a bad thing. COVID. 10 years of 10 years of whatever in 10 weeks, like he said. So that's kind of what happened, and that worked to his benefit as far as our benefit, I guess you'd say, for the movement, but it doesn't help his candidacy, unfortunately. What up, Carnage? Carnage is in the house always. But yeah, so just to give you guys a heads up, I'm not gonna be as Yang Gang specific when it comes to intro outro. I want to be a little more open to other people. And so to do our intro, I'm gonna talk about the intro is going to be, thanks for joining us, guys. Let's see if we can change some minds. Or let's see if we can change change some minds tonight. Then I'll pitch it over to Mia. And at the end, I'm going to say, go read a book. Because we really need people to get informed, educated, and promote education and reading and doing your own research type of thing.
Yeah. We can do news you can use.
Brian Keith, what's up? Some new faces are back, or also old faces are back, man. I appreciate both your thoughts. I'm feeling pretty salty. Yeah, man. I just don't see a path forward right now for Andrew Yang, UBI. Andrew Yang. Yeah, so that's the thing, guys. So I'm just going to let you know what the trickle up. We got some big shit coming. Okay? So I'm adding a calendar to the Trickle Up website. So it's going to be on the homepage. I'm trying to learn this weekend, or actually it's going to be the rest of this week. Now it's Sunday, but I'm going to try and have a calendar in there so you guys can go to the website, click on the calendar, and see all the events that are scheduled for the channel. Be it tonight's the news live stream. Tomorrow's going to be a discussion panel on critical race theory with the McCoy group, and some TikTok political activists. Brian, if you're okay, this is being streamed in 5 different places, so you guys won't see all the content comments where you're at. So it's on the Trickle Up, it's on the Mindful Skeptics YouTube channel, it's on Twitter, Facebook, and what's that called? Twitch. So yeah, you won't see all the comments in one place, unfortunately.
And where would you like people to herd the most, boys, so that you can keep track of them?
We want to build up the Trickle Up, but I'm streaming on the Mindful Skeptics. I have over 3,000 subs there. It gets more eyes. But if you guys can, go to the Trickle Up and subscribe there and set notifications, because eventually it's only going to be on the Trickle Up's YouTube channel. But for now, we got to keep building and go from there, you know. Yeah, I like to just stream the live stream on multiple platforms, and then the clips I edit out the rest of the week are just going to be on the Trickle Up's YouTube channel. But on the website, you guys will be able to see like all these different things we have planned for the rest of the week. That if you want to see them, they'll be there. And then eventually, I'd like other content creators to schedule their live streams on there as well. You know, aggressively liberal. Okay, cool. Okay, I got you. Awesome. He's a TikToker. He's a politically active, of course. But yeah, we're trying to do some different things. We're trying to do stuff like that. And then now that COVID is relaxing a little bit, not really, but we are relaxing, you know, man, like it's just the facts of it. So eventually what I want to work towards, and probably in the month of July, is to say, okay, we're going to plan ahead and be like, all right, if you guys want to contribute at where I'm calling this guerrilla journalism, where people on the street, all you need is your cell phone. And so we can go out on Twitter and we'll make a Twitter post from the Trickle Up's YouTube or Twitter account. And we're going to say, hey guys, tonight we're going to talk about A, B, C, D, and E. If any of you would like to get your content, we'd like to bring you guys in with us. So the idea is me and Mia are going to talk about UBI in Japan. We're going to talk about Joe Biden's infrastructure thing. We're going to be talking about Florida's, what is it, Mia? The Florida one, DeSantis, about fossil fuels. Like banning the ban on fossil fuels. How fucking stupid is that? But we're talking about it, And then the other one is, what was it? The last one is, Pride Month. Biden pushes for LGBTQ Civil Rights Act. So we can let you guys know that today, like, we'll be able to do this sooner, early in the day, like at 9 a.m. we'll have this thing ready or whatever, right? Or noon. And then we'll say, hey guys, if you guys can, go talk to people on the street, talk to friends and family or whatever about it, and record it and be like, hey, what do you think about this thing about Ron DeSantis, about Joe Biden? And you guys get the opinions from the street, guerrilla style on the street, down in the low, in the gutter with the rest of us people. And the idea is then we're going to talk about it, and then we're going to bring up your clips. You send them in, and we'll pick the best ones we can. That a little bit entertaining, but still thought provoking. One that's for, one that's against kind of approach. Bring that in. Well, that was it. And here's one that's got some pushback. Bam, and then we'll come back to us in the studio and and then say, what do you guys think about this? Yada yada. Right? That's the original idea for this thing, but COVID squashed that shit. So I feel like we're at that point we can try and shoot for like July 4th weekend. Like that's the first time we're going to try and do that format. And we need all you guys to help contribute and just go out there with your cell phone and make yourself uncomfortable. Make other people uncomfortable. That's what we got to do. We got to challenge people. I mean, you know how hard it is for me to go out and, like, the first time I went out in public, my fucking phone or my doodad on my shoulder. I had some lady bitch at me at the subway in New York about it. She goes, is that thing on? I'm like, yeah. And she goes, some people might not be comfortable. I was like, well, you're free to keep moving, And she's like, well, that's why I moved. I'm like, okay. And she's really giving me a New York attitude, on the subway. And she's like, you don't have the right to record me. I was like, you do know this is what I do, right? Like, this is what I do. I record shit. I know the law. This is a public platform. You have no reasonable rights to privacy on public property. I can't show up at your house and record you, right? That's private. This is public. So I have these situations that people get pissy with me now, but I just don't give a fuck anymore. And of course, she's not going to listen to me anyway, so who cares kind of deal. But like, it's hard to go out there that first time and ask that first person, hey, what do you think about this? And it's okay if I record our conversation. This might wind up on a channel on YouTube, And it's hard to find people that's comfortable with that. It really is. But we have some brave souls.
If you're looking for help getting bold or having ideas on how to approach people, I recommend Street Epistemology videos. Those are really good for figuring out how to approach people, how to talk to people without putting them off.
Right.
That kind of thing.
Well, the idea is would be cool to have someone, like when you talk to someone to, and say, hey, there's an article we're talking about on our news channel. It's going to be live streaming tonight. We'd like to use your clip of you talking. Have you read it? If not, hey, here's the link. You go ahead and look at it and see what you think about it, or read it together or whatever, and then just talk about it, And we're just trying to be open to just random fucking people, man. I'm not trying to find specifically someone that is going to confirm our biases. We want pushback. We want random shit. We want crazy shit too. We don't care. This is a crazy world, But that's the idea, is to grow this out to be more guerrilla style, man. Because this is what CNN can't do. This is what they don't do. They ain't got the balls to go and just ask random people what they actually think. They don't give a shit. They're trying to tell us what to think.
Not unless it's going to be phrased as like a Jimmy Kimmel skit on how stupid people are.
Yes, that's different. And we can do that too, but I don't want to for the news per se.
Yeah, well, that's exactly my point, though. We get this skewed view of people as stupid because the only time we see people being interviewed on the street is when we're seeing them to be made fun of.
Yes. Yeah, and talking down to them. Do you recognize this picture? Is that George Bush? No, that's actually Alexander Hamilton or whatever. Just kind of punching down. Yeah. See, Carnage gets it. Coming together, using individual strengths and knowledge and help the world. That's right, man. And of course, this is a Dexter shirt, guys, just so you know. Slice of Life, Miami, Florida. That's the name of Dexter's boat in Dexter.
Oh, gosh, that's been so long since I watched that. But yeah.
Season 9's coming out this fall, just so you guys know. Oh, I love it. Let me bring this thing up, ready to go. All right. So again, the intro is going to be different, and the outro is going to be go read a book. And I'll try not to say go read a fucking book for the clip, because when we do get monetized, that matters, unfortunately. Like, if you say fuck a few more times, they will demonetize that video, and that's just the way it is. So it negatively affects the actual business of this channel to hopefully be able to pay people like Mia and others for their time.
Wait, so you mean my self-censoring of the word is going to work out for you?
Eventually, I'm gonna try and practice myself, which I'm terrible at it. I like to say fuck all the time. It's like I have a potty mouth. That's my real, I gotta put a filter, if you will, a little bit. But it's okay to curse, but they have a real problem with the F word on YouTube. But it is what it is. I don't care. And let's be honest, guys. The best case scenario for a video, let's say we get a video that has like 10,000 views, it might make $3. I mean, just best case scenario, $3. So it's not like we're talking, it's not going to cost money, but we just want to be in best practices if we can to try and just do our best. We're normal people. We're not fucking idiots, and I say fuck again. Oh, well. But yeah. All right. So you ready for the first one, Mia?
Okay. Sure. Why not? We're only 30 minutes in.
Yeah, I know. We've been 21 minutes and 24 seconds. Yeah. So we're do that basic income one. Okay. So okay, I'll pitch it over to you. It's a short read.
Yeah, can you link it in the chat actually?
I haven't linked
because I could not find it when I was scrolling through the stream and we were still talking and blah blah blah. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful.
And don't bother trying to pronounce that damn name either. It's ridiculous. Yeah, between me, the Mute the Media, and Resist for Humanity, the F word is common. It is commonplace for us, normal people. But ads, it matters, unfortunately. And trust me, I'm not gonna. So the clip is the clip, right? When we do the intro to the outro, we're gonna try and I'm gonna try my best. But in between, we're gonna go crazy, Damn New Yorker. Yeah, man. But yeah, okay, you ready, Mia?
Yeah.
Alrighty. We're just gonna read the article. It's not a lot, it's only like a couple paragraphs. Then we'll chew on it and we'll throw it back at everybody else to let us know what they think. All right. All right, guys, welcome to the low. No, fuck it. We ain't gonna do all that. All right, guys, let's see if we can change some minds tonight. What do you got on the low for us tonight, Mia?
Well, tonight we're going to talk about this article that discusses the conservative opposition party in Japan calling for universal basic income. It's on Basic Income Today. And I'm just going to read the first paragraph here and then let you take over from there.
Okay.
Japan's conservative opposition, Nippon Ishin no Kai, Japan Innovation Party, unveiled a new economic policy plan Monday that would consolidate much of the country's social welfare system into a universal basic income program. I like that.
Yeah. So the party envisions paying between 60,000 and 100,000 yen, which is roughly $550 to $910 a month to everyone, regardless of age. So it's universal. This would replace other types of aid, such as public assistance programs, basic pensions, and child allowances, which the party argues would make the social safety net more streamlined and efficient. And it mentions in the article how it's similar to Andrew Yang's $1,000 a month UBI program. It says Ishin. Is it right? Ishin or Ishin?
I think it's Ishin.
Ishin, yeah. And it also says Ishin also advocates reducing consumption, income, and corporate taxes and eliminating the estate tax. The party claims the tax breaks will stimulate consumption and economic growth, which will in turn generate revenue together with administrative reforms. It aims to reduce and simplify deductions as well. The party also calls for easing rules on layoffs to make the labor market more fluid and raise productivity of society as a whole. And the economic policy plan will be included in Ishin's party platform for the lower House election that will take place in or before October. It will be included in the party platform along with such measures as cutting lawmaker pay and granting more powers to regional governments. So there's things in there I like and I don't like. What do you think?
Oh yeah, that's definitely a mixed bag. For one, the low end of the money, I don't think that would be sufficient to replace all the programs they're discussing there. If it were just that much, then you would probably want to keep a few more of those programs at that low end scale. And the high end scale could probably be tipped up a little bit higher still.
Yeah, but it doesn't have enough details about what qualifies the 550 in to the 910 in, right? So there's not enough information. I'm definitely going to be keeping an eye on this one personally. And just so you guys know, this website, it's called the Basic Income Today, basicincomettoday.com. And you can go down to the bottom and sign up for the newsletter here. And that kind of helps us I can stay up to date on this, and others can too as well. And other things. There's lots of things on pilots, income inequality. It's a great website, by the way. But yeah, that's how we kind of found this. But the thing is, it says it wants to replace all social safety net programs. And that's very specific to Japan. We don't know how much, because they have a very low poverty rate in Japan. They have a low unemployment rate in Japan. It's a very workism kind of country. So it's a little bit different there. I'm not sure about their housing situations. That's really the biggest expenditure is housing. But this is a conservative approach, which is not what I would agree to. But they're trying to streamline all the money they put in the social programs, just give it directly to people. I got no problem with that. So if they're getting benefits that are this amount, give it straight to them. It just makes more sense. I do agree with that end of it. If that's all expending, that's how much it is per person. Or maybe it's based upon like how much you're getting versus I'm getting. You'll get the 550, I would get the 910 or whatever it might be because of what aid we're getting type of thing. Maybe say this is how much it is. We're just gonna give it straight to you and skip all the bureaucracy, which I do agree with that. But not in principle, but not in application, unfortunately. Now, the other thing I don't agree with is reducing consumption, income, and corporate taxes and the estate tax. Because who does that benefit? The people that consume the most, that make the most, the biggest corporations, and the people that own the most property get all the tax breaks. How does that help the poor?
It does not. It in fact decreases revenue that would otherwise be used to fund that,
right.
that BI. So that doesn't make a lot of sense. I'd like to see a liberal counter proposal, but I mean, it's not a bad place to start when you consider this is the right wing side of their party and how bad ours would screw us over on this. Like, I'm trying to imagine what Mitch McConnell's version of this would be, and it is not this generous.
I think it would be something similar to $500 a month if you get off of welfare and totally, literally be on your own with $500 a month. Well, if you can't live on $500 a month, that's what he would say probably. But in America, this is different. We have a different landscape, different financial strains here in this country.
I kind of have a feeling Mitch McConnell would say that you owed money.
Yeah. We're gonna give you $500 a month, and we're gonna take it back for your medications because I get paid to represent the donor class and not the people. But yeah, I think that, and the other thing I don't like about this is easing rules on layoffs to make labor market more fluid. In other words, they can lay you off easier and raise productivity for not being productive enough or whatever it might be. I'm not sure what that even means. It's very vague, right? But
yeah, if you're going to do that, better than basic income at that point.
Yeah, I'm actually thinking about doing a deep dive on the actual policy page on their thing, maybe on the Mindful Skeptics YouTube channel, and do a deep dive onto actual policies they have there, just to kind of see what it is.
I mean, I can understand the argument that, well, you're strengthening the labor market's bargaining power, so you need to strengthen that or the corporate bargaining power too, if you are over analyzing things, I guess, but you'd need a better than basic income if you were going to ease rules on minimum wage here, for example, or anything like that. You would need to be supplying people with more than they need. if you
Right.
were gonna, man, no.
Well, yeah. Well, another thing it says it's also including measures as cutting lawmaker pay, which I don't have a problem with that. If that's what they want, that's what they want. But granting powers to regional governments, which sounds like they want to have states' rights. You know what I mean? And that's a very conservative point of view. Well, if if you don't agree with the federal government, move to this region with different rules, more conservative rules. You know, so it looks like Japan's trying to go to a more, that's a conservative party. So some things I do and don't agree with, but that's how every policy is. Every politician is typically, so it's nothing new. This is just like if the right wing here came up with a UBI policy, it'd come with the same type of things, except for here it'd be about military spending because, we love war, unfortunately. But yeah, so Japan, think about Japan, guys. Japan's about the size of, I think, New Jersey. I think it's the size of New Jersey with the population of California. So they're really packed in there tight. So it's pretty much the size of California's population, but not the surface square mileage to they're really on top of each other there. But yeah, so I'm very curious about this platform. I'm gonna definitely keep an eye on this more myself if I can, and I'm gonna do a deep dive on their actual policies on the page, get more information. But if anybody knows anybody in Japan, please send them our way. We'd love to talk to them and see what they think about it, boots on the ground kind of thing. Again, if we could have some guerrilla journalism in Japan, that would be really, really cool. I would love to have somebody that's Japanese come on and let's talk about it. That'd be a really cool thing.
Ooh, that would be great.
Oh, okay, I got it wrong. My bad. Japan is the size of California with a population of 125 million. Where'd I get New Jersey from? 125 million, though. That's a third of the United States, but in the size of California. I don't know why I got New Jersey out of that, guys. I don't know. I was talking out of my ass, but that's why I love it. You guys keep me in check. I love it.
I was willing to accept you at your word, so thank you.
Well, the size of California. I don't think it is like really the size. Maybe just north to south, all the islands connect would be that size. So it's just not that big of a square footage, like as far as the actual the land they live on, but it might cover a large area like that because it's a bunch of islands, I
am honestly not aware of Japan's borders enough to be able to tell you. Yeah,
geography. But yeah, right, Carnage. 40 million in California. So it's 3 times as much, 125, right? In the same, roughly the same-ish geographic spread. But California's got a shit ton of mountains too, where people can't live. So it's really all coastal, and then northern. So it's very similar, I guess you'd say, is got the same-ish size economy. Yeah, right. Yeah, California's got the 5th largest economy in the world, guys. We're number 1, and our state of California is number 5. New York and Chicago's on that list too. If you think about it. Oh, here we go. I love the data, guys. Thank you. Japan has a landmass of 370K square, and California is okay. There you go. Thank you. That's what I was looking at. So it's a little bit smaller square footage, but it doesn't, and it's a bunch of fucking miles too. Or I'm sorry, kilometers. It's a bunch of mountains as well. It's just a big volcano. It's on the ring of fire, man. Tsunamis and tsunamis and what's that? I'm thinking earthquakes. I'm sorry, Jesus, and erupting volcanoes. Look what happened in Hawaii on the Big Island, man. They wiped out a whole corner, just and it's gotten bigger. I can't remember how much bigger it got, but I saw somebody going by in a boat with a camera showing, okay, here's the new part of the Big Island where all those houses are gone. It expanded a couple of whatever square footage or whatever. But yeah, guys, let us know what you think about that in the comment section. And while you're here, of course, give the video a like. That really helps us get some exposure. hit that notification bell if you haven't done it before, and definitely shit. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, but definitely leave a comment and let us know what you think about it. That's all fucked up. I said that twice. Oh well, I'll start over. Sausage is being made. All right. Let us know what you guys think about that in the comment section while you're here. Of course, give the video a like. It helps us on the algorithm. And if you haven't hit that notification bell and subscribe, please do. And thanks for joining us. We'll see you guys next time. And please go read a book. Bam. Cool. All right. Shit. I stumbled on that one. You know, somebody was trying to make fun of me in the comment section about me fumbling and stuff. Because, well, you fumble and you did it. I'm like, yeah, dude. It's live. I was like, I don't give a shit. Oh, man. Okay, Norman. Why are UFOs being pushed by the CIA? More money to protect the homeland or gaslight grift? I think it's a couple different. This is a 100% opinion with no data to back it up, right? My opinion. One, they can't hide it no more. These phenomena are being caught by 4K cameras. The second is I do think it might have a homeland security kind of thing. That might be another component, but that's just kind of me being a negative Nancy, a skeptic, on that. But, we'll see.
How do you feel about aliens, boys?
Well, aliens aren't UFOs. So those are two separate topics altogether. Like, I believe there is, of course, life forms. And about intelligent life, here's my big picture. My kids asked me the same question. It's very possible, if not likely, there are at least humanoid or something as intelligent as we are, or we consider ourselves to be at least, on the galactic scale, but we'll never know, and neither will they, because the odds of them being over 4,000 light years away is very high. Our closest star is 4 light years away, Alpha Centauri. Or is it Vega? I think it's Alpha Centauri is the closest one for Alpha. Yeah. But Alpha Centauri, the closest one's 4 light years away. If we could travel speed of light, it'd take us 4 years. But currently, we don't go that fast. The fastest we go, it'd take like 60. I'm guessing. I think it's 60 years to go one way. But the idea is that signal we sent out, the Nazis sent out at the Berlin opening ceremony, they actually the first radio transmission to space towards Alpha Centauri. If this other society, this other humanoid or whatever you call it, alien life form, is 5 million light years away, this, or 5 billion, whatever the number is, we're all going to be dead. There's no way in hell we're going to make it that long here, man. We're going to either die off on this planet or we're going to leave. So the odds of them actually crossing our path with a signal to hear or perceive or whatever is so astronomically unlikely. The only way that we'd be able to contact them is they were higher advanced and come see us, because we don't have a way yet. Now, UFOs, just unidentified flying objects, right? They exist. We see them, especially these triangles. I'm very skeptical on UFOs because the B-52 bomber was a UFO until the government's like, oh yeah, that's our bomber. Oh, it doesn't show up on our satellites. Yeah, because it's stealth. It's stealth against, like they said, well, we saw this thing and we checked the towers in California and Arizona and New Mexico. They couldn't see it. Yeah, because it's designed to not be seen by our current radar, right? So there's always been technological advances. We don't know enough about what other people are trying with drones and shit like that. We just don't know. I just need more evidence. But the point is, there is so much evidence now that they can't deny that no one can explain them. So I don't know what it is. It is a UFO. But if I was to be my most optimistic, I guess, I do want there to be aliens. I do. Because to me personally, that would shut down the religious bullshit. We're a side project.
I have this issue where it's my one qualm with Star Trek, actually, where if there are aliens and they're visiting us, and they have been for a long time, clearly they're peaceful, right? And they've got technology far beyond ours. Mm-hmm. And I have this problem with Star Trek. We're killing other species. We are causing an extinction event on our own planet. I don't care what your fucking prime directive is. At some point, the harm outweighs the need to let the species fucking evolve.
Right.
We're killing. How many? Do the polar bears really need to be the sacrifice? Is that where you're drawing the line, guys? Like, stop being assholes, aliens. If you're here, show the fuck up and talk to us. And that's my F word, because I actually care about that. You're assholes. You're assholes if you're not helping.
And we're assholes. So help us not be assholes.
Exactly.
Help us unfuck ourselves, you know, to quote Andrew Yang.
And screw the prime directive.
Yes, yes. Bobby says the religious people would claim that aliens are demons and angels. Of course, yeah. Shift the pole, but guess what? Aliens and demons are not physical beings. Whoopsie. You know. Anyway, that's my own personal preference. I would love there to be aliens. I'd like to think that we're not the highest evolved thing. Here's the thing, guys. It's possible we are the highest evolved thing to ever exist, ever, right? It's possible. Not likely. But what if that's the scenario? We are alone as far as the intelligence to communicate and travel. We still haven't got the travel part down. We can definitely communicate, right? We have a satellite that's leaving our solar system. What's that one called? The Odyssey one? The Voyager, I'm sorry, the Voyager 2 is leaving our solar system and still pointing back and sending signals. Like, we've left our own solar system, not us, but our equipment has, our communication devices have. So we're more than likely to have something run into that sucker, which is very unlikely because space is so empty. But I really want there to be aliens. I don't want us to be it because that's disappointing. Because we are flawed creatures.
Yeah, we're flawed. But, I mean, flaws can be part of what makes something great. I love every person in the Yang Gang has so much, like, good in them. And then there's people who aren't Yang Gang yet, but are Yang Gang because they don't know it yet, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think all humanitarian people are Yang Gang. They just don't know it. Like, we align.
But so much creativity, so much that can be done. I think that the biggest problem we have is that we have this tendency to be drawn towards sociopaths and putting them in charge.
Yeah, the great man theory, right? Yeah.
That's really our biggest problem. Like, the individuals I talk to, the people I talk to are either too dumb to be harmful or, not out to harm anybody.
Right. Mm-hmm.
The majority of people are just people. So.
Yeah, Bobby says the one word describes humans, it is flawed. Yeah, all life has flaws. That's why it is what it is, right? But we're the first animal that's going to cause its own extinction if we don't make a course correction. We have the power to. We've been damn lucky we haven't wiped out each other on this planet with nuclear weapons already. Think about it. The Russians had every reason, and they gave the order, guys. The government gave the order, launch. And luckily, some guy on a sub that said, "Oh, that's Vidania." He said, "No way. Hold up, man. This doesn't make sense, We're very capable of wiping ourselves out and killing the entire fucking planet as far as like hospitality for us, But as you can see in Chernobyl, life goes on without us. It's flourishing. All those inhabitants, those buildings are being consumed back. The planet, we are a parasitic organism when it comes to the ecosystem of this planet. So it could shake us off just like that, or we could wipe our own selves out, And that's what's flawed about us. We got some chimp in us, and we also got some bonobo. One does murder, one prefers rape. Like, that's how fucked up we are. Where bonobos use sex to say hi, bye, thank you, no thank you, whatever. And then chimps use violence to communicate the same thing. in a different kind of way, right? So we have both of those genes are in us to be violent and to be sexually violent or dominant or whatever you want to call it. Like, what's that word I'm thinking of? Driven by your sex drive or your desire to want more. Just greed, but that's all about reproduction and all that kind of stuff. But
I like people.
Yeah, but I know we're primates, we're primates, and we kill for sport.
We don't have to.
No, we don't.
The thing is, another thing to remember, we came from carnage. Everything on this planet that is life eats life to survive.
Yeah, it's
so there is a natural amount of that. We have to overcome it. And that's just time and generations and self-domestication, to be quite honest. So we're a rather young species too, timeline-wise. We skipped a bunch of steps and suddenly became the most dominant species on the planet.
Yeah.
We need time to adapt to these giant brains of ours.
Yeah, power demands responsibility. We've definitely displayed our power. Now we have to be responsible for that power, which is kind of where we're at. Like, how do we? Because other animals adapt to their environment. That's how they evolved. Then we began evolving our brains to adapt our environment by making tools to adapt the environment to us. There's no other animals that like skin something to survive in the cold. They just get the fuck out of the cold. Or they evolve to survive in the cold. They grow their own skins or furs, right? Their bodies are their adaptations. We cut them off of other animals to put them on us to stay warm. So that's just kind of what it comes down to. We take from the environment, from the earth to survive in climates we're not built for, which is pretty much everything that's not at the equator. Like, think about wintertime in Michigan. If you didn't have a house and a heater, you're dead. If you don't kill an animal and skin it and look at the Inuits of the Arctic Circle. They store body fat more than average people do by the equator. The equator, thinner, less body fat because they don't need it. They evolved to not carry that weight, to not waste the calories on that type of thing, So it's all evolution to me. That makes the most sense. It's demonstrate. You can demonstrate it, and anyway, yeah. I hope there's aliens. Jesus Christ. Okay.
This was its own little segment here.
Yeah, that was a random tangent. That'll be a TikTok clip, not a YouTube article or whatever you call it. But what up, Ching Jewel? I got to meet Ching in person. It was awesome.
I love her.
And yeah, Ching.
She's on Clubhouse all the time.
Yes. How do you feel these days after visiting New York? First of all, I fell in love with New York, but I was also saddened by my experience there. It's inspiring and sad, depressing with the homelessness and the people on the streets. I wore this for an entire day on my shoulder harness and stuff, and just I wanted you guys to see from my point of view what I was seeing as I walked down the sidewalks, and see people laying on the ground, sleeping, mental illness, yelling, and just kind of carrying on. It's right there in front of you, So it's a great city. I love the subway. Good or bad, I love it because you can get around town. I feel comfortable there now. I could go up there right now and know how to get places. Lickety split. Give me my $32 weekly pass and I'm good to go. That's the nice thing. $32 and I could get me and my girlfriend could have a pass to get on the buses and trains or subways for free the rest of the week, So we could pretty much get within walking distance. I'd say maybe 10 blocks of anything we ever want to go to in most parts of the entire city. It's just a great layout. I love the public transit. Such diversity. The food is fucking amazing. My new favorite dish. It used to be chicken parm. Now it is vindaloo, goat or lamb, which is the spicier side, the spiciest side of Indian food. And it's curry and I like curry too, but there's goat and lamb. The lamb was so tender. I was like, oh, we went to the same place twice, the first day and the last day, because we liked it so much. And Ching took me and my girlfriend to I think it was a Korean place, Ching, in Koreatown, because it never shuts down kind of deal. We got to hang out for a while, and she made a little video. I think she's going to do another video about New York. And Ching, just so you know, you've inspired me. I'm going to try and make my own little short film. By short, I mean short, like less than 30 minutes. Not like hers is an hour and a half, right? That's too much work.
Her award-winning film is an hour.
Her award-winning, that's right. But I looked at film festivals. There are some that are 30 minutes. I can do 30 minutes, right? I'm going to do some voiceover, some music, and some video and audio from my camera of all the things we did. So I actually took photos and videos from the time we left our house to New York and then back to the house. Like I made a video before we left and after we left, kind of ideal, and just kind of give my own personal point of view about my experience going to New York for the first time. And I'm thinking about, let me know what you think about this, guys. Come math with me. And so that's kind of my running idea is what I'm going to call it, and kind of be like, this is what it's like to go do something that's bigger than yourself. To a city you've never been in, you don't know shit. You're just going to show up and do something, you know? And yeah, so it's going to be a cool thing. It's going to take me all fucking summer probably, but yeah, she's won 3 awards. I think maybe 4. Ching, correct us if we're wrong. She's won at least 3 that I know of. And there's more, of course, summer's coming up. There's more festivals coming. So yeah. But yeah, let's go ahead and move on to the next one, which is Pride is back at the White House. Wait, no, what was the first one? Oh yeah, the infrastructure. There we go. Okay. Enough bullshit. 51 minutes. We've done one thing. But it's the first time we've done it in a week, you know, so I've got a lot of energy here a lot of blah.
Oh yeah, and we skipped a week before that too, so it's kind of been every other week for us for a couple weeks now.
Yeah, just
catching up, man.
Travel in New York and stuff. I didn't have time for anything, but yeah, it's gonna be a good time.
You've got a lot of exciting new stuff to talk about too, man.
There's a lot of stuff happening, you know. But yeah, all right. Let's see if we can change some minds today. What do you got on the low for us, Mia?
I need a few seconds more, boys. That's what I got.
No, you just start. I'll edit it.
I shut down my doc to read the other article and then forgot about it. Oops. Okay, here we go. 6/27/21.
There it is.
That's today. And the infrastructure one we're starting with, right?
Yep.
Okay. Mind queuing me up again, sir?
Okay. Let's see if we can change some more minds today. What do you got on the low for us, Mia?
Today on the low, we're going to be talking about Biden having created a deal on infrastructure with a bipartisan group of senators. President Joe Biden said he agreed to the infrastructure deal, and it's unclear if the proposal will have enough support from GOP senators or progressive lawmakers to end up as law, but it's a significant development that could pave the way for a passage of a chunk of Biden's domestic agenda. Biden said that he would not sign the bipartisan infrastructure bill unless the American Families Plan, which Democratic leadership plans on passing through the budget reconciliation process, comes with it. That's an important note. Caused a little bit of drama with the Republicans. They were very upset to have that. They considered it a veto threat and started throwing a hissy fit. So, and I am going to describe it as a hissy fit because I read another article besides this one where, man, they just cried and cried and cried about the idea that he would have a demand. How dare Biden want something in return?
How dare you win an election and actually flex? You know, screw that shit, man. Flex. Flex, you know.
Yeah. And Nancy Pelosi said Thursday that the House won't take up the bipartisan bill until the Senate passes the larger, more sweeping infrastructure package through budget reconciliation. So this does not include a lot of his goals. It's about $1 trillion less than what he was going for. But he wants to break it up into 3 packages now, basically. He says none of his other stuff is off the table. It's just this is what he can get now.
Yeah. I got no problem with that. I like that. This is what we agreed on. Okay, let's pass that. Let's move on. Let's argue about this shit later. Like the next session, let's argue about what we don't agree about. Let's move forward with that and negotiate, but not, keep whittling the entire thing down so it's pretty much jack shit, which we've already done. Like it's shit when it comes right down to it. It's not enough to really get things back on track with the infrastructure. We just had a building in South Florida collapse and kill people.
We're going to have more stuff like that too. We have not been on top of making sure that our buildings are up to code. Infrastructure means infrastructure. We're going to have a lot more of these. We had bridges falling like one a year for a while, right?
Yep.
It's just going to keep on crumbling until we do something about it. And even then, if you're in a place where you've got a Republican senator or whatnot, they might find a way to re-divert those funds to something else.
Mm-hmm. Well, and like Mitch McConnell expressed deep pessimism on Fox News about Democrats' push to pass both the bipartisan deal, and the reconciliation bill. And here's a quote. He goes, "What it does is put my members, including myself, who are optimistic about doing a bipartisan infrastructure bill, in a position of our Democratic friends having to guarantee that the 2017 tax bill is unwound. That's our red line."
Your red line is making sure rich people are happy. Yeah, we already know that, Mitch.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing too. Make them vote on it. Make them veto it. Period. Make them veto it. Then put them on notice, especially Democrats like Manchin and Sinema and whoever else is dumb enough to say da-da-da-da, right? So I'm all for pushing things up there and make them vote. Not stop kicking the fucking can around the room playing hot potato and keep negotiating with yourselves before you even have the Republicans or the centrist Democrats on blast. Let's be real, guys. If Biden wanted to actually challenge the filibuster, right? He'd go to Sinema. He could go to anybody has a problem with it, right? And say, listen, if you don't get behind this, I'm gonna do everything within my power to make damn sure you don't get another fucking dime from the Democratic National Party. We will primary you. You will get kicked the fuck out. We're done with you. Get in line or step. Like that's what I would like from a president. Get in line. They elected me, not you. The country elected me, not you. Your representatives represent you. I represent the country.
One of the few benefits that exists from the DNC being a private thing. They could theoretically kick out Manchin anytime they want to. Mm-hmm. They could kick out Sinema anytime they want to.
Yeah.
That is the only upside to them not being beholden to the public and their rules and such. Because then you might have something about, well, anybody should be able to join the party because it's a public, yada, yada. You can't kick them out necessarily.
Yeah.
But because it's private, they can make up the rules as to what is good for membership too.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Well, it's corrupt. That's a corrupt thing to do. That's some gangster shit, right? But that's the system we have. Let's do what it's designed to do. Pressure people to do what they're supposed to do. And Sinema and Manchin can kiss my ass. I don't care. They are horrible people. They're horrible representatives, and they're bought and paid for. They're fucking paid actors. They're not even real representatives. They're actors. But yeah, so the House says they won't. Where to go to Pelosi? They won't take up the bipartisan bill until the Senate presses the larger, more sweeping infrastructure package through budget reconciliation. So, in other words, Pelosi in the House won't put it up for a vote from the House, and Biden won't sign it, even if they did get it through. So, there's 2 breaks in the way of this thing. And I'm afraid that will make the Republican leadership push back harder. And do nothing. Yeah. Democrats are at it again. and do nothing in the obstructionist of the Republican Party.
They're definitely going to try and obstruct, or at least not support it. But thankfully, reconciliations they can't get in the way of. The filibuster does not apply to it. So
Yeah,
the Democrats will get this, whether or not the Republicans like it or not. However, I think that the Republicans are going to just basically try to frame their base and brainwash them into thinking that it's a bad thing that this passed.
always.
And that's just it. They're not even going to bother to, pretend.
Well, just like the other bill where they voted against it 100%, lined up, lock and step, 50-50, and Kamala had to come in and vote for the 51st one, the tiebreaker for the last package, but yet they go back and brag about what's in it. And this is just, so you have to put them on blast, make them vote on it, make them veto, and then keep track of how many vetoes they use. They look at guys. These guys do not want to work. They do not want bipartisan. They want Republican bills get passed by Democratic legislators. That's what happened with Obamacare.
And the group that did this did include those horrible senators who probably shouldn't even be considered Democrats. They helped make this bipartisan version. So if this does not pass, this is actually a true bipartisan bill. And that's, I think, one of the things that Biden wanted to make sure of when he tried to get this passed, was that no matter what, it couldn't be labeled as a Democrat bill.
Well, and here's the pushback.
I'm sorry.
No, I'm saying this is also the other thing is if they veto this, aka then that says, okay, now we got to get rid of the filibuster.
Yeah, because every attempt has been made to work with them.
Right.
Every attempt.
Yeah, this demonstrates that the filibuster is stopping progress. So it's holding up the country. So we got to change it. It's not in the goddamn Constitution, guys. It's not in the Constitution. It was brought up by a Republican back in the 40s or some shit, or 50s, maybe the 60s in the Nixon era. But it's not like a constitutional thing. They just make shit up, right? Same thing with the minimum wage. What's that position called in the Senate where they said, well, the so and so said it's not, you can't put it in the bill. Then what are you gonna do? No, position.
Like, the filibuster. If you don't mind making a quick analogy here, is a lot like there's this patch of land on a national park where technically there's this legal expert who says if you committed murder there, it would be okay to commit murder there. You couldn't be prosecuted by anybody. No court could try you, so you'd get away with it. There's nobody to try you. And so it would be, the filibuster is a lot like that little space there. And then anybody who's unhappy with the law, they go over and they murder somebody in that space.
Yeah, they kill it.
Because they know they can get away with it, and because it's a loophole and it's technically legal. But it's not like somebody created that space so people could go murder somebody legally. It's just a loophole. Yeah. And assholes take advantage of it.
Yeah. Yep. And it is what it is, man. That's the point right there is if the Republicans don't pass this, then they know damn well the filibuster's next. So I think the Republicans are going to pass it because they don't want to lose the filibuster. So I think that's going to be it's going to be considered by the GOP. And then they'll spin it and say, well, we went in and approved it because we've got what we wanted in this bill, despite their attempts to shut us down. We got it done. How they do. But yeah. Let's see what's the other thing. Where to go? Sorry, guys.
That kind of reminds me of Biden's quote here. We all agree that none of us all got what we wanted. I clearly didn't get all I wanted. They gave more than I think maybe what they were planning to give in the first place. But this reminds me of the days when we used to get an awful lot done up in the United States Congress, and that bipartisan deals mean compromise.
Yeah. But if you get rid of the filibuster, that will incentivize more partisan policies. So that's what worries me about it. It's a good buffer, but it's being used at an alarming rate now more than ever. Because a filibuster used to be a rare thing. Now it's become
Now it's
standard
used so
issue.
often they don't even bother to go through the process of the filibuster. You just say, I'm using the filibuster and move on.
Right. Sorry. Closed. We're done. But I want to list the people that helped bring this together, to give them credit at least for trying, even though they're a bunch of shit bricks. Let's be real. The bipartisan group included Democrats, Kristen Sinema, of course. What the hell?
It's
Sorry.
Jean.
Oh, Gene. That's okay. Yeah. Gene Sheehan of New Hampshire, Mark Warner of Virginia, Joe Manchin of West Virginia, John Tester of Montana, and Republican senators Rob Portman of Ohio, Lisa Murkowski of Alaska, Susan Collins of Maine, Mitt Romney of Utah, and Bill Cassidy of Louisiana. So these people are trying to form a centrist bloc is what it comes to. This is what the left should be truly doing. The progressives should be doing the same thing. Being like, we are voting as a bloc, and this is our demands. You know,
This is the gray Jedi here, guys. Like,
right.
This isn't Sith. This isn't Jedi. This is the grays, dude.
Yeah.
The people in the middle. No, actually, they're not that wise. Manchin especially. Screw him. But
yeah. But you know, they are doing some bipartisan crap, which means they're all negotiating with each other. Nobody gets what they want, which means nobody really wins, you know. But we do need infrastructure, guys. We have a bridge going down every year. I think last year we covered this on the low, was the bridge in, I think it's Minnesota, Wisconsin, collapsed and didn't kill anybody, luckily. But in this plan, it says the total cost of the bipartisan plan, not the one that the Biden administration did, but it's $1.2 trillion over 8 years with $559 billion in new spending. The Bidens initially proposed $2.25 trillion to rebuild the nation's infrastructure, shift to greener energy over the next 8 years. So I'm curious what got cut. Is it the green energy shit that gets cut? You know what I mean? So we'll have to wait for more details to come out on this. But
I believe Yang Daily has a nice thread on it if anybody has Twitter too, where he talks about some of the things that have been cut, what actually shows up in it. It's a good discussion thread.
Right. Oh yeah, Yang Daily, guys. If you're not following him and the notifications on, you're missing out, because he is all over it, guys. He is the go-to guy for information. He's kind of like Scott Santon's in that way, that he's on it, man. And Matt Skidmore, they are on this Twitter thing, man. And if you don't follow Yang Daily Podcast, please do. And if you can, subscribe, turn on notifications. He does daily content, guys, and it's really quick and easy. He has a Google Doc that you can cite. He cites his sources in his Google Drive. He makes it public, which is, I wonder if we should start doing that. Let me know what you guys think about that. So we have a Google Drive that has like bullet points.
We need an actual official low bullet point or drive, because right now it's my drive.
Right. That won't work. Right. I don't know how to do that yet, so we'll figure that out later. But yeah, we'll see what happens with this bill. I don't know. Does it say in the article when they're going to be voting on this?
No.
Not yet.
Not anywhere specific. We're still in the proposal stage.
Yeah, because they're still on break, aren't they?
Yeah, this needs to simmer a bit yet still. This is just the initial crafting of it. It hasn't been put in front of actual Congress. It's just kind of more of a proof of concept, I suppose you could say, in a way.
I think they go on like a 2-month break in the summer.
I think you're correct.
Yeah, so this shit ain't getting done till like September. Yeah. But I don't know, guys. Let us know what you think about that in the comment section. Do you like the bipartisanship? Do you like the idea that Biden's like, I'm not giving nobody shit until I get what I want? You know, which I have no problem with that. But do you guys have a problem with that? Do you like the idea of Nancy Pelosi saying we're not going to even bother putting it and send it to the Senate without that getting done first? You guys are trying to send a bunch of bullshit up there. No, here's something we agree on. Get it signed. Get it through. You know, they're just manipulating everything and holding it still, you know, and threatening vetoes for everything. So, I like some of this. I don't agree with all of it. Posturing is just like, why threaten shit right now? But it is what it is, right? So let us know what you guys think about that in the comment section. And while you're here, of course, give the video a like, Hit that subscribe button if you've done it before. Ring notification bells. You get alerts for upcoming videos like this. Go check out the website. We're going to be having a calendar added there, so you can see all of our live streams scheduled there. And thanks for joining us. We see you guys next time, and go read a book. Cool. But yeah, we got some people in here. Yang Speaks podcast is losing subscribers. Yeah, because Yang couldn't come on. He could not come on for the past 6 months. He's back on, guys. He'll be back. Now he can do it. He's going to go back to Yang Speaks. He's already done 2 episodes. I'm sure he's going to be back doing it at least once a week, maybe twice a week. Now that he's freed up, guys. It's going to go. I think Humanity Forward is going to maybe bring him back. I don't know what's going to happen with that. So there's a lot of unknowns. I think he needs to take like a month to decompress. Focus on your family, your mental health together. You know, because he was looking run down, guys. I saw him in person. His voice was shot. He looked run down, man. Because I followed that sumbitch for a day. I was tired. One day.
And he basically moved from one campaign to coronavirus campaign to campaigning for Georgia. He has not stopped. Mm-hmm. So
take a break.
How's he get? Mm-hmm. Man, I mean, all the things that happened, all that stuff.
Yeah.
How can you be at the top of your game facing all that stuff? Well,
that's
I don't think it could be.
Last thing when I talked to him in person, like after he announced he was done, you know, I was like, me and my girlfriend were sitting there like, shit, well, there it is, you know. Then he hung out for a couple of hours afterwards and just talking to people, and there's a fucking selfie line for like an hour and a half. But I waited for that all to die down. I went over there and kind of talked to him with the side. I was like, and he's like, "Hey boys, thanks for coming." I just kind of just shook his hand. I kind of leaned in. I was like, "I'm inspired. I might run for office. You are amazing. I don't know how the hell you do it. You gotta let me know what the hell your recipe is, because I followed you for one day and my ass slept like a baby." And he just laughed really hard. He's like, "Yeah, it's a lot." I was like, "You look tired, man." I was like, "But I appreciate your energy. You know, you inspired us to come here." You know, and he just like, "I appreciate you guys, you know, the Yang Gang." And you know how he is. He's very, very appreciative of what we all do. But man, he deserves a break. He dealt with so much negativity this time around, way worse than the presidential one.
Yeah, they took him seriously.
Yeah, he was a threat. But yeah, so I think he should just take a month to kind of just step back, enjoy the holiday. 4th of July is coming up. Enjoy New York. Go get the hell out of the city. You know, go on a vacation. I don't know, man. Go sit by a pool, drink a damn beer. You know, go to Coney Island, have a corn dog, whatever. You know.
The one thing I do know,
he has no.
Got out of the fight, right?
Right, but he has no privacy now. You know what I mean? Like no matter where he goes with his kids or his wife, it doesn't matter. People go, hey Andrew. Media, paparazzi, who the freaking hell knows, you know? But man, I felt bad for all the shit he dealt with in the last 3.5 years, you know. But you know, I think he has a lot of choices. Of course, CNN's probably gonna be reaching back out to him. I personally think he's gonna go back to Yang Speaks and start interviewing people. I think he's gonna he has a possibility of just going back to Humanity Forward and you know, working for universal basic income. I think he should have on Scott Santons on Yang Speaks and help promote the basic income movement, who's been doing some serious freaking work with Stacey Rutland and all those people over there, kicking ass, man.
Kim, gotta shout out Kim and Rosario.
Yep, Kim Rosario, yeah, man. And also, guys, if you go to Clubhouse, there's a whole Yang Gang on there, guys, that does just they're everywhere, right? We're everywhere. Same thing with what am I thinking of? The other one, the Mark Cuban one I'm on. Fireside, there you go. Yeah, so I'm on Fireside. I might do some stuff on there. That's nothing to do with politics. But there's a lot of stuff going on. There's a lot of things to consume. But guys, here's the big thing too, guys. A lot of people are donating monthly to Yang, right? So now we have to find other platforms to support, right? Humanity Forward's one, Basic Income Movement, Math Movement. The Math Movement is actually doing a thing called Math Class. that is teaching people in a math class like how to organize, grassroots organizing. I'm actually in their first class. I'm actually doing it every Monday and Thursday, I think it is, Monday and Thursday. For like, I think it's like for 4 weeks or 5 weeks or something like that. But they're actually trying to teach people how to grassroots organize, period. So I think that's worthy. And of course, the Trickle Up could always use help. Yang Daily could use some help, some financial help for his podcast. It takes a lot of time and resources for him to be a one-man crew, just like us over here, just doing our thing, right? And of course, Erica Rhodes. And of course, Reverend Wendy Hamilton. And I'm actually interviewing on the Mindful Skeptics on Tuesday. I'm interviewing a young lady out of Nevada who's running for city council. She's running with Universal Basic Income on her platform. And then there's 2 other ones I've set up. Marcus Flowers out of Georgia. He's running against Marjorie Taylor Greene. He'll be coming on my channel next week, along with Ellis Allen out of Florida, who's running against Marco Rubio. So I'm interviewing those people. That's where I'm at now. I want to help them grow up. And also, guys, OTP, of the people.us with nerds. That's where we need to start sending our volunteers there to find candidates that run on Universal Basic Income to help volunteer there. So that's how we can use our energy now. That's all pent up in our frustrations. Help other candidates get in the lower rungs of government to trickle up good policies. Trickle up good candidates. Dr. Jermaine Johnson. That's what we got to do,
I hate to rush us along. It's actually 10:26.
Woo!
And
okay.
Rick and Morty comes on in 30 minutes. So I need to be off of here for that, man.
Okay, so let's do one more. Let's see, we got that one. Let's do the Pride one, since it's a time-sensitive one when it comes to this being Pride Month, the last one. All right, so I did the outro. Okay, so let's do that one. The last one you have up there, we'll do that one next. All right. All right, guys, let's see if we can change some minds tonight. What do you got on low for us next, Mia?
Tonight, we're going to talk about how Pride is back at the White House. Biden is pushing for LGBTQ civil rights acts. President Joe Biden formally recognized Pride Month in a celebratory White House ceremony on Friday. He called on Congress to pass a sweeping civil rights proposal known as the Equality Act. Among its provisions, the Equality Act would help counteract what Biden described as a disturbing proliferation of anti-LGBTQ bills that are being circulated in Republican-controlled state legislatures, including measures focused on transgender youth. Mm. Also on stage with Biden at this event were 16-year-old transgender advocate Ashton Moda and Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg.
Yeah.
He did a lot of speaking at that time.
Yeah. And then the thing is, what is another quote in here? It talks about representation matters, recognition matters. Is what Biden said. There's something else that matters, results. I'm proud to lead the most pro-LGBTQ equality administration in U.S. history. And he also says here, these are some of the ugliest, most un-American laws I've ever seen, referring to the bills regulating Medicare, bathroom use, and participation in sports teams. And he also added, let's be clear, there's nothing more than that. This is nothing more than bullying in disguise as legislation. And that, Biden, come on, bro, that's good shit right there, man. I'm with him on that, because that is what it is. It's not just bullying. It's gosh, man, it's unconstitutional. You're taking people's rights away for a bathroom and for a recreational sport. I mean, come on, man. This is what you're worried about when we have crumbling bridges. We have a massive housing crisis coming up in September. We have homelessness. We have mental health problems. We have all these problems, and you motherfuckers are worried about who goes pees where. Who do you have sex with in the bedroom by yourselves, behind closed doors? Who's on the sports team? Sports? Seriously?
That is definitely not government regulation area.
Hell no. Leave that shit alone. You're in charge of regulating the government, not a private industry. Piss off. Stay out of my sports.
100%.
So that's how I kind of see it is they're virtue signaling and they're focusing on identity politics, which we don't like identity politics. We don't like cancel culture. We like cancel legislation. Put that shit on a t-shirt.
Cancel legislation.
Yeah.
That's pretty accurate.
I'm going to make a damn shirt. Fuck it, you know?
They want to cancel people.
Yeah, they want to cancel everybody's rights. I mean, it's, you know, so I'm on board with Biden. I will support him to the hilt when it comes to equal rights, period. I don't give a shit what label you put on this group, any group you're talking about, whatever it is, equal rights, period. We've never lived up to the Constitution's design. Well, let's be real. It is living up to its design, which is exclusionary. But we want to the promise of the Constitution is freedom and equal rights. So we still haven't lived up to that. So that's why I support Joe Biden on that, because he's doing a damn good job, at least on messaging. But he says again, guys, he's not stupid. He says what matters is results. He knows he'll be judged in history for what he gets done, not for what he says. You know, nobody cares what he said. Nobody's going to remember that shit. They'll remember what legislation got passed. You know, so same thing with Trump, you know.
And it's important to note that this legislation actually did pass through the House. So it's ready to go, other than the Senate. Biden, words.
Yeah.
Words are good. We can say them. All right. Biden demanded its final passage on Friday and quoted Harvey Milk saying, "It takes no compromise to give people their rights."
Yeah. So again, this is another one. If they veto this bill in the Senate, again, it's going to rally the people, specifically the progressives, to say enough is enough, and the virtue signaling centrist Democrats, right? That's what they are. The corporately sponsored, the bought and paid actors. So be it. But if we can agree on that, let's move forward with it. Let's use that to chip away at the filibuster with the anti-democratic legislation.
Every inch they'll give you, take it, even if it feels like it's not enough. Take that inch and use it to push forward more.
Yeah, if you see that little gap, that little wedge, kick it, make it wider, break it down.
That's like with the CTC. Don't be upset that it's not a universal basic income yet. We know that everybody needs it, but don't let them take it away.
Yes.
Don't let us backtrack on who gets help. Let us keep pushing for more help for more people.
Yeah, and that starts next week, guys. Next week, parents will be getting $300 a month for kids under whatever age, and then $250 for kids under 18. I think it's 12 to 18. So we're going to see some real momentum. And I think we should be banging the bell about this and bringing attention to it. This is a form. Let's see what differences make. And then we can shift the messaging for the midterms to 2022 for Erica Rhodes, for Dr. Reverend Wendy Hamilton, and for everyone else that's running as on progressive agenda, and say, hey, look what this is doing. And it ends in December.
Yenny
as well, who's a city council, which doesn't run with UBI, but still, nonetheless, progressive, nonetheless.
She needs help still.
Yes, absolutely.
She's going to help push, like, the libertarians got their hold doing this.
Yeah,
going through and grabbing small positions. We can support each other by having everybody in whatever place we can get them in. Gosh, it doesn't matter how small the office.
Yeah. And so that's why I love this position he's taking. I personally am for it. And I think we could use the child tax credit as leverage to say, look what it's doing for these families. It's taking 50% of children out of poverty. What can another $300 do? Are we okay with half the kids in poverty? I'm not. Right? So right now, we the people, our government, is okay with half the kids living in poverty. That's weird. Let's not do that. Like, so we can leverage this stuff and support good candidates, you know. But yeah, guys, let us know what you think about that in the comments section. And of course, hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't done it before, ring notification bells to get alerts for upcoming videos like this. And thanks for joining us. We'll see you guys next time, and go read a book. Cool. Hey, I just want to say thank you to Elizabeth Norris for the super chat. Awesome.
Awesome. Thank you.
Patrick Dunn's in the house. Haven't seen you in a while, brother. Yes. Yeah, her preliminary is in September. Right. But yeah, guys, so that's all we got the time for tonight. Tomorrow we're going to be having the I think let me double check. I think it's a critical race theory panel tomorrow. UBI Clubhouse at 7 p.m. Eastern. No, is that 5? 5 p.m.
It's 5 p.m. Eastern for UBI.
5 p.m. Eastern for that one. Yeah. And then so tomorrow is going to be the critical race theory with the McCoy group. We're going to be talking about that. And then Tuesday I'm interviewing that city council person in Vegas. She is transgender as well. And Vegas, the city never sleeps, so we got more coming this week. And then of course Thursday we'll be doing it again with the TikTok folks. We're gonna be doing it again on Thursday. We're gonna keep building this thing up, man. We're gonna get the daily eventually, Monday through Friday. But yeah, guys, thanks for joining us, man. We're going to kick it out. Mia's got to go watch Rick and Morty, I think she said. And I got to start editing all this content for the next couple of days. So
guys, it's a family thing, man. Every week, Rick and Morty, once they're out. Been waiting so long.
Yeah.
Last week was fun. You don't watch it, I take it.
No, my kids do.
It's so good.
I have a TV right here. I have not turned that thing on. I don't know, probably about 2 months now. I haven't really sat down and watched TV in a couple months. Just been busy.
See, I watch it through stealing it off of. Oh wait, I shouldn't say that publicly. I watch it in other places than TV.
Gotcha. But yeah, so enjoy your Rick and Morty. Yang gang, love you guys, man. We're gonna keep it going. But definitely also go to the YouTube, go to the website and sign up on our email list so I can get, in case something happens to our YouTube channel, which is possible. I say fuck a lot, right? We can still send. I want to try and start sending out like a newsletter out, like for calls to action and stuff like that, whatever. But the more people we have on there, I can kind of see like who is our core group, that's on the newsletter itself with the email addresses. So do me a favor, go do that, guys. I appreciate it, man. All right, guys, take it easy. See you, Mia.
Good night.